Welcome to CarTok, where we talk everything about car. Today we will talk about the Audi Q8 50 e-Tron Quattro, which has been introduced in Malaysia since 2023, but you rarely see this on the road. Why? So, to make things less confusing, I will now refer this car as the Audi Q8. The official name from Audi is Audi Q8 50 e-Tron Quattro, which is a long name. And they have two versions, which is the 50 and 55. 50 stands for the smaller battery version. 55 is the highest bigger battery version. And it also comes with a high-performance SQ8 variant. But the problem is, this is an e-Tron, which is an EV car. It's actually different than the petrol Q8. It's two totally different products, but due to Audi's confusing naming strategy, this Q8 is different than that Q8. So, issue number one, why you did not see much of this on the road? The name is just too confusing. So when we talk about EV, we need to ask ourselves, what is the fastest EV available in the market right now? Some will say the Porsche Taycan, some will say the Xiaomi SU7, some will say the Tesla Model Y. Then what EV has the longest range? Some will say it's actually the EQS with the ultra sleek aerodynamic body. Then what is the cheapest EV in the market right now? Plenty of them. You name it, there's BYD, there's Xpeng G6, heck, even our own Proton Ermas. Then what is the most tech-equipped EV available in the market with autonomous driving? Of course, we have the Tesla again, and we have the Xpeng G6 again. So, what is this car about? Do you see any speciality about this car? As you can see from the roofline of this vehicle, it's actually quite round. This is an all-rounder vehicle, yet unfortunately, for some it might be a car that is jack of all trades, master of none. So, as I have mentioned earlier, this car is actually an all-rounder, jack of all trades, master of none. For me, it's actually the selling point of this vehicle and what Audi intentionally designed. So I have go through a lot of foreign countries review of Audi e-Tron since 2019. Yes, this car is actually already 6 years old, and a lot of verdicts saying that this car has the least amount of learning curve and it behaves most similar to a traditional ICE vehicle, or in that sense, a traditional Audi. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Do you see plenty of this vehicle on the road? That's the reason why you did not see plenty of this on the road. For continental EV, Malaysians are no stranger. A few years ago, Malaysia has this tax exemption on all the EVs, which actually causes a plentiful of EV flocks into Malaysia market. BMW iX, Kia EV6, and also plenty of Mercedes EQs available in the market and running on the road. It's because of that tax-free incentive. However, there's only one car that are not as famous as the other two, which is the Audi. Why? So before we talk about that, let's talk about the car that we are going to review today. It's called the Audi e-Tron, but it's also known as Audi e-Tron Q8 since 2022, after Audi did the whole rebranding and renaming thing. To make it more confusing, there is two variants of this Audi Q8. What we have here is a sloopy roofline Sportback Audi Q8. Then there is also a traditional SUV Audi Q8. Wait, the Q8 that I'm saying is not the traditional ICE Q8. The Q8 I'm mentioning here is the EV-only e-Tron Q8. Yes, it's very confusing. And to make it even more confusing, there is about 3 variants as far as I know for the Audi Q8 e-Tron. The lower range, smaller battery entry level 5.0, then the slightly more high spec 5.5, and the high performance SQ8 e-Tron. Yes, it's bloody confusing. Let's talk about the unique selling point. So when we talk about the fastest EV available in the market, especially in terms of the continental vehicle, which one you will think of? For SUV, it will be the Tesla Model X Plate or Model X Performance, if I'm not mistaken. For the longest range one, you have other competitor. For example, the EQS with the ultra sleek aerodynamic body. Then what is the cheapest one? Okay, the cheapest one is of course the Kia EV9 with an extremely futuristic and strong identity design. Then which is the most tech-loaded one? It will be the Tesla again, or in this case, maybe some wildcard from China, the Xpeng G6 for example. So when we talk about all those selling points, the speed, the range, the price, the technology, it seems like none of them are being hit by the Audi. We will explain later in the driving section. But as far as I can see, this car is actually jack of all trades, master of none. But on the other word, it's actually a rather perfect all-rounder, just like the roofline of this Audi Q8 Sportback. So when we talk about the design philosophy of every car, usually we'll talk about the designer, what's their philosophy, what the brand stands for, and in this case, let's talk about Audi. So at first glance, we look at the exterior, it does not actually shout the identity of being an EV. No, it just shouts being an Audi. But what an Audi about is actually low profile, technological, and also high build quality. It shouts a certain business premium executive vibe. It's not like the party boy, star boy vibe like Mercedes-Benz nowadays. And it's not too geeky, too sporty, too youth like BMW. Audi does its own presence. Back in 2019, if you guys actually watches Avenger Endgame, you will notice Tony Stark actually drive a very nice looking Audi sedan. That is actually the e-Tron concept. So what is an e-Tron concept? E-Tron concept is the baby brother of the Porsche Taycan. It's the same thing. Higher end is Porsche Taycan, lower end is Audi e-Tron. Then it entered the first ever actual e-Tron product, which is the Audi e-Tron SUV. This is actually that. It's not the sleek coupe that you know about, which actually further jumper things up. But let's keep the design part. Let's talk about the exterior design of this body shape, the SUV coupe thingy. I can provide you a lot of example whereby this design right now is actually a trendy thing in Europe. What we know it as SAV, Sport Activity Vehicle, whatnot, is brought up by BMW X6. And if I'm not mistaken, GLC does have this kind of body shape and it faded out quite a bit. Then all in the Southern European decide that this is a trendy thing again. We have the Renault Arkansas and also the Renault Raphael. Then you have this Audi e-Tron Sportback SUV. Let me know what you think. But let's not forget about the pricing. If you are going for the normal SUV body Audi SQ, it's actually cheaper compared to this Sportback variant. Being an Audi, and especially being an Audi, they changed their corporate identity to e-Tron. First thing you will notice is this white color 4-ring. It's different than what we known back then. 4 aluminium nicely sculptured ring. This is actually a symbol of e-Tron. Then this product being the Audi Q8 e-Tron, you can see the exterior design. It does not shout EV. It's not trying too hard. It's just an Audi. It's an EV, but it still have a big grille. It does actually come with some active aero grille shutter. Then you have this lower bumper with a big insert. And here also have some active aero shutters. We have a flat floor pan. We have official photos from Audi to talk about the aerodynamic design features of this vehicle. So you have this air vent, air pocket here. Okay, you have this headlight. But this being the entry-level 5.0 variant, it does not come with the Audi Matrix headlight, which is a good thing because that set of headlight, I can only imagine how expensive it is to replace when it goes wrong. Then look at the side profile. This being an Audi e-Tron 50, it does come with a body colored panel cladding, but it does not offer in Malaysia. It offers in other country. It does have the Audi e-Tron Q8 Dakar edition, so maybe this will come with a black plastic cladding. Then let's look at the side profile. You have one signature line here that goes down, then it actually follows back up here. Very clean line. Then you have this structure here that compresses the body so it does not look too bulky, and a very nicely sculptured round bubble roofline. Other than that, it's just as Audi as is. Some will call it plain, some will call it boring. For me, I feel like it's alright. It's just Audi as is. So you can see it's nice Audi wording here and the name Q8 Sportback e-Tron Quattro. The exterior has nothing to shout about. It's clean, it's nice, it's matured. But the problem is, for some, maybe they think this is not striking enough as an EV. So being an entry-level Audi Q8 e-Tron 5.0, the size and rim combo is, the tire size is 255/30R20. Massive tire size. If you opt for the 55 or the SQ8 e-Tron, of course the size will be bigger. Then the tires come with Bridgestone Alenza, which is a premium Aircore comfort tire. It's not a performance-oriented tire, and it's also not an EV tire, so surprisingly there. Then let's talk about the suspension setup of this vehicle. It's actually quite interesting. Let me show you in the engine boot. Let's open the engine boot. There's no engine, so whatever it is, some call it frunk. You will notice just go through the quick one. You will notice that it actually comes with an AC charger as default. And let's look at this. Okay, you will notice an extremely big installation point. That's because this car runs on air suspension with front multi-link setup. A very rare combo nowadays. Rear multi-link, yes, we heard that a lot, but front multi-link, not much now. So yes, that's the reason why this car actually handles and drives surprisingly well. One point to be taken note is, albeit this car comes with air suspension, it's not the active air suspension. It's more of a passive air suspension where you can adjust the suspension according to your own liking. You can make it harder, softer, taller, or lower. We can show it in the Audi individual drive or Audi drive select at the car later. At this angle, you will be able to see the sculpture of this Audi Q8 Sportback clearer. So you will see this blackout cladding here. Then you can see this character line that goes all the way here with a hidden line here all the way. Then this will continue to the rear bumper. Okay, a nice touch here. Then at this side, you will see a very bulgy and muscular rear quarter panel. So a nice touch there. And unfortunately, the design feature somewhat stops here. It's a nice sculpture, that's for sure. So let's look at the rear design of this car. And actually, if I don't tell you this is an EV, there's not much clue, isn't it? This one light bar design, to be honest, Audi and Porsche is the one who started the trend 5 years ago. So it's nothing new at this moment. A very flat and clean panel, and with a very subtle e-Tron wording here. Rear diffuser, and that's it. If the camera pan down here, you will see a bizarrely clean undercarriage panel. No ducktail spoiler, no roof spoiler, because this is the entry-level 5.0 variant. Yes, the design, it's not as shouty. It's bizarrely Audi, it's bizarrely clean, and there's not much to shout about. Is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? I will let you to decide. But so far, this is the most humble EV that I have ever driven, apart from those budget EV. So being an EV production car, being one of the early Continental EV, you can see that this car still runs with a traditional key fob. Not that I'm complaining, this is one of the best textured key fob that I have ever seen so far. BMW and Mercedes-Benz, you need to learn something from this. But it actually stops here. As far as I know, this car does not come with any sort of smart link or smart connectivity to your phone, to application. It still uses a traditional key. There's no application for you to link the phone to the car. But because we are in gas mode, I'm not sure if Audi will offer something like this in future. Then let's talk about the boot space. There's no kick sensor. It's only button. And being an Sportback, it actually sacrificed a little bit of cargo room here. So the boot space volume is slightly smaller. It does come with a space saver spare tire and some very nice hook, a typical Audi standard. And that's about that. But don't worry, if you do not really need the boot space, but you are more concerned about the rear headroom, I can guarantee you this car, albeit of its Sportback form, it does have plenty of rear headroom. So as I have mentioned earlier, this car, the headroom is not going to be an issue. I am not exactly short, I am 180 cm and 100 kg, so you can see that the rear space is actually rather massive. It does come with a center armrest and a very nice textile center cup holder. And you can see that the speakers is here, sun blind, then a nice button, and that's about it. The good thing about Audi is you can always have high expectation on the build quality of Audi. Everything that you touch is just premium, and in my opinion, it's better than the other German rivals. So you can feel that the leather is quite okay. Okay, nice to touch. Audi have a special name for it. It's the leather texture. Okay, you have this nice aluminium light. I believe it's not aluminium. Plastic panel here. Everything you touch is just nice. Then you can see that here have a aircon touch panel. This is a car with 4-zone climate control. Not 2, not 3, but 4. So front left, front right, rear left, rear right, all can adjust your own aircon preferences. And I believe that's about that. You have this reading light and one ambient light stripe here. That's about it. But what I can guarantee is this car, no matter it's in Sportback or in SUV form, it's just alright. The rear space is more than enough. Let's not forget, this is actually a C+, if not a D segment full-size SUV. It's massive. So let's sit into the cabin and you will notice that this is a very typical Audi cabin. It's not like other car manufacturer where they are trying to make a significant difference between their ICE and EV car. No, this is a all-rounder Audi that runs on petrol engine. But no, this is actually an EV, a pure EV variant, e-Tron. Then let's start the car. Yes, it does come with a comfort entry and comfort exit. And you can see all the details here. It's just superb. The build quality of Audi is unmistakably one of the best, if not the best, that I have reviewed recently. Apart from the key, it's nice, and all the button switch knob is just nice. You can feel the textile of the button. Everything is properly designed. So in terms of hardware, Audi is definitely top notch. Fit and finish is just superb. However, there is one issue. When you are in the cabin here, for most of the people who are trying to shop for an EV, they will feel like, why the screen is so small? Why there's no fancy gizmos? Why there's still many physical buttons? And what's the use of this, use of that? And I can say, actually, this car have one of the best user interface that I have ever driven. So user interface is something can be described as how the machine interact with human or how the human interact with the machine. So as you can see, I'm in the car right now. This is a very traditional layout, front speedometer, Audi virtual cockpit they call it, and then you have this infotainment screen here, the main screen. Then you have the aircon panel screen here with haptic feedback. So they managed to combine the selling point of Audi, good button feedback, which is excellent haptic feedback, okay, the gesture feedback into touchscreen. So it might look like a touchscreen, but when you press it, it does have that button tactile, only not available in this Android Auto, but in Audi own platform, they have this. So you can hear this. They managed to design the hardware to have this very meticulous, very detailed haptic feedback, no latency, and the party piece is actually these two. You can press the aircon here, when temperature, the blower. It does feel like you are pressing button without actually pressing a button. This is amazing, and the learning curve is rather low. If you wanted to adjust your aircon, everything is here. If you want to adjust the volume, everything is here. If you wanted to go to the smart parking, you want to disable the some of the ADAS feature, you want to activate the 360 camera, everything is here with physical button. When you're in the car, you want to shift gear, just put your thumbs here. This is amazingly nice to use. You just need to shift gear using these two fingers. So this is for D, this is for R. If you want to adjust the volume, just here. You want to adjust the drive mode, it's all here. This is the part that I feel like Audi is scoring fantastically well. It's better than all the other rivals, but unfortunately, it seems like this is way too underrated nowadays. Nobody actually realized how nice this function is. Everything here is just like a traditional car. What Audi is good at, what BMW is good at, all the Continental car good at back then, and they have their own way to change the user interface in this. So the learning curve is extremely low. Then you have this steering wheel that's straight out of A7, and everything is just so nice, nicely fitted. Okay, and here comes a problem. A lot of people think that this car does not have a bigger screen, it does not have fancy function. So let's have this small adjustment on how do we adjust the suspension setting of the car. Just have to go to this drive select mode. Okay, then you can see one button here called raise or drop. Then once I press it, the suspension will go up or down, or you want to change the drive mode from different setting, from comfort to auto to dynamic. Okay, everything just press here, one button, done. If you know your car good enough, you don't even need to look at this screen. You can see from here, press the buttons and off you go. Same thing goes to the aircon. You don't need to really look at here and figure the settings. Everything is easily accessible. Not to mention the Audi MMI here with a very solid understanding of how to build a UI. All the graphics is crisp, okay, the resolution is nice, a very high quality screen and UI design, so it's not confusing. All the words is nicely laid out. The only confusing part is the regen setting underneath the charge here. So if you put it into the automatic mode, it can be confusing for the driver. Other than that, you know, it's like using those old not a good word, but if you have ever used those Symbian OS phone before, you will understand what I'm saying. Everything is easily accessible. The only problem is it's not able to adjust it in a more detailed manner. So let's go to the driver assist. Okay, you just have to press this. You are in the driver assist, so you can on, maximum, individual, or all off. So let's go to the setting here, and you can adjust everything here, but most of them is still on and off. There's no fine tuning available, which is a little bit of shame, but I can forgive it because this car is since 2019. And other than that, you are not able to adjust the theme or whatever it is on the screen. You can only adjust the ambient light setting here, and the ambient light does not follow the drum beat. So it's really not that the mainstream EV car the China manufacturer wanted us to have. No, those in Chinese words saying it's the sofa, the fridge, and the television. No, it's not. It's still a car. It's just not as fancy, not as high-techy. It shouts quality, it shouts design, it shouts UI. I personally like it a lot, and being a jack of all trades, master of none, this is actually quite balanced. The only part that I wanted to complain is only the MMI virtual cockpit here. When you go to the map view, you're only able to use its own map, which is Google Map, but not able to link with your Android Auto Waze map. That's the only complaint I have on the UI design. Other than that, it's all okay. It's actually fantastic in a way. It reminds you of driving a old ICE car without any learning curve. So yeah, good point on that. So when we are talking about driving experience of an Audi or any other German mark in that sense, no matter it's Mercedes-Benz or BMW or Audi or even Porsche, in that sense, the bar is always high because they are the one who determine, or should I say they are the one who set the golden standard, and there's no difference compared to this Audi. And if anything, I feel like this is one of the best EV to be driven so far, partially because it behaves like an ultra big CC ICE car. Again, this car behaves like an ICE car. It's a good thing. It's definitely not a bad thing. The throttle is very linear and it's not jumpy. Even in dynamic mode, it just have a slightly higher sensitivity. But that's it. The car does not actually shoot out or jerks or vibrates to accelerate too violently. Everything is done in a linear and progressive manner. And let's talk about the air suspension. And this is an air suspension, so for sure it can actually be comfortable when you want it to be. And it also can be sporty and full of feedback when you want it to be. So it has best of both worlds. All you need to do is just flick the drive select, go around the different modes. In terms of driving, you can say Audi can have all the credit. And being a quattro vehicle, this does have front motor, rear motor, and a 2-speed gearbox. So what does that 2-speed gearbox does is it can cruise at high speed with a lower power output. So personally, I've driven this car up to 200 km per hour. I can tell you this car feels like nothing. It's not breaking a sweat at that amount of speed. And coupled with the ultra aerodynamic body, I just fact checked, this window is not acoustic glass, it's just normal window. But at high speed, it does not have any wind noise. You just have a small hint of tire roar and that's it. The MVH of this car is fantastic. The ride and handling, it's also quite fantastic. This is not a SQ8 or RS model, it's just a normal Q8 entry level 5.0, and I would say the ride and handling, the driving feedback, everything is just superb. There's no other way of saying it. When we look at the specs sheet, this car, albeit from the all aluminium body chassis that weight close to 2 ton plus minus, but it doesn't feel like it. It just feels like a normal typical SUV with a very good visibility all around, fantastic seat with multiple adjustment. Then you have this speedometer which does not try to educate you on what information to be read. No, it's just like a normal car. You have the RPM light meter on the left, even though it's not RPM. Then you have a speedometer on the right. Everything is just like a normal car. It's not trying to reinvent the wheel. So you have these pedal shifters that mimics the engine braking. So that is also one of the reasons why people downshift using pedal shifters. And this Audi able to do it. It has two modes. The automatic mode where you decide the engine regen or engine brake, and manual mode which you can decide by downshifting or engine braking. So you don't have to brake. The car will actually slows down to a stop once you activate the pedal shifter, downshift. Everything is just like a typical, a very high quality traditional car. Thing is working alright, and it's nice to drive. The handling is superb. You have different modes. Is this a perfect car to be driven? Yes. Is this a perfect car to be chauffeured in? Yes too. Then what is the part that are lacking on this car? In terms of number, the acceleration might seem slow, but that's not the point. The point is this car can cruise a highway at 200 km per hour easily. Piece of cake. It does have the ACC, the rear cross traffic alert, the Audi Presense where it will automatically build up pressure in the brake reservoir, so it can help you brake more effectively if it detects some cars in front that brake. The brake lights lit up, all those function. So yes, it's actually doing what it's supposed to do. It's just not shouty enough. I have driven iX before and I can say this is actually a better car to be driven in compared to iX. It's way nicer to drive. It feels like a traditional vehicle. For some, it's not a selling point. For me, I adore this car a lot. But then, all those balance out, even though it's jack of all trades, master of none, which means that this car is actually balanced in every aspect. Good build quality, good driving quality, everything is alright. It comes to a big flaw or a major problem, which I will address later in the conclusion. Yeah, this car is actually very, very nice to drive and I can't complain anything. The ergonomic is flawless. Every touch point is flawless. So, as you can tell, and I have been repetitively saying that this car is actually one of the best cars to be driven in and to be driven about, because it is an Audi that's trying hard to be Audi and to recreate what Audi stands for. Good driving experience, high quality cabin, high quality fit and finish. Here comes a problem. Remember what we have mentioned earlier in the introduction? Is this the fastest car? Is this the longest range? Is this the cheapest? Is this the most tech savvy? Unfortunately, none of them suits to this car. It's jack of all trades, master of none, yes, but it's actually very balanced out. It is doing what an Audi should do. good driving quality, good UI, all those. So for me, none of those are its flaw. It's just the consumer nowadays are too focused on the viral marketing, whereby you need to have a very strong outstanding point to sell your car. This car does everything perfectly well. Even the battery, it actually does everything perfectly well and perfectly good. If you look at the chart, if you are a gamer, you know that this is actually a 5 pentagon where everything is balanced out. There's no one extremely point to shout about. So if you are a gamer, you would know that you have a capability or a character chart. This car actually sports perfectly balanced in every aspect, which I think is actually not called jack of all trades, master of none, but it's balanced out in every sector. However, the main Achilles heel of this vehicle, in my opinion, is this. It's actually the electric consumption or the power management of this vehicle. Maybe because this car introduced as early as 2019 and they have a long way to go when it comes to the energy management system. The WLTP standard for this car range is about 450 kilometers. But my personal experience is, albeit I have charged the car full up, it only can achieve about 380 kilometers, which is not much. And that is when you are using it in efficient mode. You are not using it in the dynamic mode where it gives all beams. No, you are just driving it as eco, as frugal as possible. This car just came with a massive battery. How big the battery is? We are talking about more than 90 kilowatt hour of battery. You can use up to 86 or 87 kilowatt of it, and it only come back at less than 400 km range. So for me, this is actually the main problem of Audi Q8 Sportback e-Tron Quattro. Oh yeah, the second is actually a confusing naming strategy. Other than that, Audi is doing what it can and they are doing extremely well on it. Perhaps that is the reason why you did not saw much of this on the road right now. For your information, PHS Automotive, the official distributor of Audi Malaysia right now, is having a huge discount and huge promotion on this vehicle. So if you are like me, who like to drive a car as it should be, and you like to enjoy cars that are nice to drive, you're looking for EV, you're considering an iX, the new Macan, or heck, even the all the Kias, whatnot, why don't you test drive this? I'm quite sure if you like driving, you will like this. If you can accept the high electricity consumption of this vehicle. It's just a little bit too much to ask. For 100 kilometers, it consumes 30 kilowatt, sometimes go up to 40 kilowatt. It's not too good, isn't it? Other than that, I think everything is forgivable and it's a joy to ride. If you like what we are doing, please don't forget to like, share or subscribe our channel. We also have an Instagram and a web page to be followed. Thank you. See you on the next one.